Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. This is Stampin' Hands. My name is Jessica Tarrant. Let me just log on really quick. I'm doing a live video on Facebook, so I just want to make sure that that I'm in frame and everything's coming through okay. There we go. All right. Perfect. Oh, I hate when I forget to push mute. Okay, so I would like to dedicate today's video to a very beautiful person who lives over in the UK, and I watch her videos a lot. Her name is Ruth. I just noticed that's like showing the ring light. You don't want to look at that. But yes, I named this video 19 to 90 because she helped me in like 2 days grow my YouTube channel from 19 subscribers to 90 subscribers, and I just couldn't thank her enough. So I am going to excuse me, I'm going to kind of go out of my normal zone today and kind of do a little sample of, like, try my hand at sort of what she does, you know, show you the kind of things she does. She said she calls them a one-sheet wonder, and she'll take a piece of paper and pretty much make it DSP of her own. And you can do it with any kind of stamp sets you'd like, you know, and mix any kind of colors you want. So I'm just going to get started doing that. I'm going to tell you, we'll just use these two stamp sets today. The Garden Grandeur, which is a host exclusive stamp set, so you have to host to be able to get that one. If you have any questions on how you can do that, just let me know and I will fill you in. Another one I'm using is the Framed Occasions stamp set, and I love this one. It's grown to be kind of one of my favorite ones. So we're going to use those, and then the colors we're going to use is a lot of our new ones. Well, two new ones: the Orchid Oasis, also the Sweet Sorbet, and then we're going to use a couple of older ones, the Granny Apple Green and the Garden Green. And we'll start with those for sure, and we might add more from there. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to grab a couple of background pieces of paper because I just don't like getting my work surface all dirty. So these are actually some pieces I've folded in half, and we're just going to set it back here as a little bit of padding because I don't have any of the mats right yet. I'd like to get more of them, but I use my mouse pad for smaller things, but something big like this I just have to use stacked up paper and give it a little more edge for the, what am I trying to say, a little more cushion for the photopolymer stamps. So like when you have photopolymer stamps, you want a little bit of cushion underneath to give it better coverage when the ink is transferring to the paper. When you have the, whoops, wrong one. When you have the cling stamp sets, or the cling stamps, I'm sorry, they have cushion already, foam in there, so you don't need any kind of cushion underneath them. So that's the only reason I'm putting a little bit of extra padding under there. All right, so I'm going to start with the large, this piece in the Garden Grandeur stamp set. And we are going to make a flower just with that piece. So I'm going to stamp it in the Orchid Oasis. And I'm going to do a first generation stamp. And then I'm going to turn it and stamp again, which will give it a little bit of depth. And then I'll turn it and we'll see if we can get a little bit more. Some of them I can get a little bit more out of the third stamp. That one's not giving us much. So kind of 2 is all we'll get out of this one. But we're going to start with that, and we're going to go around and do a bunch of these all over the page. So, first of all, I'd like you to go, I know you're watching this on replay because the live is not actually live. I download it and upload it to YouTube. So you can pause the video really quick and go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and you can run over to Ruth's channel and subscribe to hers as well. And you have to see some of the amazing things that she has come up with. I love I don't know, just as another artist, I love watching her make art as well. You know, it's really fun to just see what other people come up with. And everybody has different styles, you know. I love it with painting as well, you know. I do a lot of landscape stuff. That's mostly what I do. I can't draw to save my life. I mean, I can draw a tiny bit, but definitely stick figures. You know, I can't draw people. My niece is amazing at drawing people. She can do very detailed stuff, but I am good at, you know, trees and bushes and flowers and things like that. I like doing landscape stuff a lot better. But Ruth, oh my gosh, her art is just beautiful. The way she can put so many things into one piece of paper and it doesn't get all muddied up, you know, and look all crazy. So you'll have to totally go check out her stuff. I love watching her art just, you know, bloom into what it is. And it's so funny when you first start, it's like, oh, it looks amazing already. You could just stop right there. And she keeps going, and by the end you're just like, oh my gosh, it looks even more amazing. I would never have thought to add all these extra things that she adds. I'm going to move this over here so I stop reaching across. Okay. So, yes, I am not near as good at this, and we will see how this turns out, because like I said, this is not my forte, but like I said, I want to dedicate this video to her, and this is the kind of thing she does, and so I want to give it a shot and see how fun it is, you know? And you guys should try this too. I definitely enjoy her type of style because she uses a bunch of different stamp sets, and that's kind of how I work. I have a hard time just using one. There's a lot of demonstrators who can, you know, figure out all kinds of different ways to just use one stamp set. And I'm kind of like Ruth. I like mixing a bunch of them together. Grab this piece from that one and this from this one over here, you know, and make all kinds of, like, make whatever you want out of it. Just get the shapes and the pieces you need. And it's all about shapes and colors, you know, making those work together to make it look like what you want it to be. Alright, so we are just kind of making a bunch of these flowers all over the place. You have to be careful on the edges because when you stamp off the edge, it makes a line. And so when you re-stamp, if that line's still there, you'll see a little bit of it. See there, it kind of showed a little bit. But I stamp off to get most of it off first, and then it's not as strong. You don't see it as bad. But I guess one thing Ruth really taught me that, like, I knew about, but I didn't really see it put into play as well, is the generation stamping. Like, I knew about second generation stamping if you want something lighter, which is what we're doing here. We're doing the first generation and then the second. If you want something lighter, you know, stamp off first and then stamp onto the page. And I've done that before, but I never thought about, you know, using the first and then right next to it the second, you know, or even third. And, you know, I just love watching her and the way she just goes to town on a piece of paper. It's amazing. So yes, this video is going to be all about Ruth. This isn't my norm, like I said. But I want to thank her, and I want to send people her way as well, just like she did to me. So I think it's wonderful to be a community of stampers and people who just enjoy everybody's different style, and let's share each other's styles, you know, and it's fun. One person can't possibly have enough time to make all these cards. Like, trust me, I do this and sell them as well, you know, and I don't have enough time to keep up. I'm always, you know, behind on cards. I have people who, you know, put in orders, and I'm up till the last day trying to get their orders done. So, you know, I mean, it's not like it's stealing somebody's work from them, really, you know. As long as you give them credit for their art, you know, artistic abilities and stuff. In my opinion. I mean, there's people who feel different about it all, so I feel like Ruth, you know, if you're gonna do one of the things I do, just give people my name also. Let them come see the work I do as well as yours, and I think we should all just share with each other. Okay, I think I'm going to leave this. I still feel like I want one here, but I feel like it's going to be too big and just a big blob and might ruin it. So I'm going to wait for a little bit. I probably should have brought this one in a little bit and put one down here, but that's okay. It's not nothing to stress about. It's all about just having fun and enjoying it. So I'm going to go on to the Granny Apple Green now. And I love this because I know one of my last videos, I showed you guys how to use this Garden Grandeur stamp set, but I only used the outline pieces, and I did not use these inside pieces. And with this, I'm using the inside pieces, and not any of the outline ones. So it's really cool how you can completely do different looks. Actually, I have this card here that we made. This was made from the Garden Grandeur stamp set with the outline. And you can see the totally different style that you can make. Like, one is very detailed, has all the lines in it, and this one's very abstract. And it's really fun, the difference that you can do with these. Oops, I did grab it out. I was trying to find my stamp. Where did I put it? Okay, so we are grabbing this one here, which I think is supposed to be a fill-in for maybe the bud. Excuse me, I'm going to have to grab a drink really quick. I just had a hard time with the outlines. I like, with such detailed outlines, I like to color it in and get detailed color. And so with abstract things, some people love doing the detailed and abstract together. I'm just not as good at having an eye for that kind of stuff, you know. So I just stick to what I'm good at, you know. And it's fun to play with other things and venture out, but I'm no master, that's for sure. So this, we're just kind of going to make it look like leaves all around the place. So, I know everybody's watching the replay on this, so you don't really have to put the hashtag replay. You can if you want, but go ahead and put in the comments where you're watching from. I'd love to see where everybody's at out there in the world. I'm in Colorado. That's where I hail from. I was born and raised in the Four Corners, Southwest Colorado. And I love the mountains. I've also lived in San Diego and up by LA and Phoenix and Texas, and I've been all over the place. So I've seen lots of different kinds of landscapes. So a lot of my paintings end up being that, you know, I end up painting beaches, I end up painting deserts, and of course the mountains and lakes, and I love scenery. The world is a beautiful place out there. I would love eventually to be able to go to other countries and go see everything there is to offer out there. I know that's a dream of many people, but I'd love to eventually get to go see all kinds of different places. Because I just love landscape. But for some reason with stamping, I do a lot of landscape things if I can. They just don't make very many. They do make some landscape things, but not very many in the style that I would use. Excuse me. I'll just put it that way because, I don't know. They do have ones that are like mountains. I'm just too much of a perfectionist, and I want things to look too realistic. I have a hard time doing things too abstract. I'm really trying to make myself do it more, so I get a little bit more comfortable with it, and it's a little bit more of a flow. But the natural look just comes more natural to me. It's funny sounding when I say it like that, but But yeah, I would just sit out, like when I was painting a lot more, I would just sit out in nature and just stare at it, because, you know, when you're up close, something looks totally different than when you're far away. And it's so crazy how different it looks. So when you're painting it, you would totally use a color that you just wouldn't think would be the right color, but it looks right when you put it on there, you know? And so I had to, like, really study what colors things look like, you know, at different depths away from you, I guess. This is where I'm not so great at this. I'm kind of random when we first start, but then I start getting these holes I gotta start filling in. Kind of pay attention to what I'm doing here. So this is still just the Granny Apple Green, and I'm just doing, like I said, one stamping off in the first generation and then the second right next to it. And like I said, like when I'm watching Ruth, something like this, I'm just like, wow, it looks great already, you know? You could already take that and go make some cards with it. I don't even know how long I've been watching Ruth. It's been a few years or something, but I finally got brave enough to say something in the chat, just hello. I mean, it's really hard to know what to say when you're watching a live video. You like being there and you want to tell them how much you love it, but they're busy stamping too, you know, so they're not going to be able to watch your video or your chats the whole time. So it's like, I don't know, should I even say anything? What do you even say, you know? So I finally just said hello from Colorado the first few times, just to let her know where I was. And that's kind of what I say when I see her, or just say hi, Ruth, whichever. But it was kind of new to me to start actually chatting with people on the live. I've watched them for a long time, or watched their replays, you know, but it's actually really fun to chat with them too, because then it just opens a whole new part of the relationship, I guess. You know, it's the difference between, like, you know, texting and actually talking on the phone or something. You can actually hear someone's voice. At least I can hear hers. She can't hear mine. I'm just, you know, putting words in a chat, so she's just reading it and she can't hear my tone of voice, but I can hear hers responding, and so it's a little bit more personal, I guess, you know. I'm going to put a little over here, just trying to fill in anywhere it looks like there's really big holes. We still have a few other stamps we're going to use as well, so we don't want to completely cover it, but I should have put my other... I think I'm gonna stop there with this one. We're gonna put the Granny Apple Green away, and I'm gonna use the Sweet Sorbet, and we're gonna grab the flower out of the Framed Occasions stamp set. All right, this is really gonna bring some life to our, I almost said our painting, to our one sheet wonder here. It's so funny because I've never called it that. I just, you know, when I would stamp on a piece of paper, it was just stamping, you know. And a one sheet wonder I always heard of was like taking one piece of DSP, which was designer series paper, which, you know, is already designed for you, and cutting it up into a bunch of different pieces and making, you know, however many cards with that one piece of designer series paper. So when I heard of a one sheet wonder, that's what we call it, you know. But Ruth calls these a one sheet wonder, where you stamp the whole sheet of paper and it becomes a wonder right in front of you. I don't know why I have trouble with this particular stamp. I push a little too hard and I get those little lines in between. I want one in here somewhere. I just don't know where. So yes, if you're watching on Facebook, don't forget to like and share my video. And if you're watching on YouTube, like and share and subscribe. I feel like I need something right in here somewhere. I think I'm just going to put it right here. Kind of have to like pull your eyes back a little bit from the sheet and kind of give it a overall. I'm going to do a couple of these sort of just peekaboo ones that come in off the side. It's really hard to find some spots to put them. I think I want one right here. Okay, I think we're going to call it quits with that one for now. But, okay, so the next thing we're going to do, I'm so bad at this sometimes, so I hope that this doesn't turn into a hot mess, but I'm going to try and do something a little bit out of the norm, I guess. We're going to use this circle dots, and we're going to use the garden green. All right. I hope this doesn't ruin it, but we are going to go through and put some of these around. I don't want to make it too much of a pattern. I'm trying to not make it too exact, but I want them kind of just look like it's, I don't know, just something else there, distracting a little bit, I guess. Fill it in with something, but not to take away from all these beautiful flowers and things, you know. So we'll just see what happens from it. You never know. I mean, I can't remember which demonstrator said it, but it totally stuck with me. It's just paper. I love that saying. It's just paper. You know, it's not the end of the world. If you feel like you totally destroyed it, you can totally start again. It's okay, you know? So have fun with it. Just, I mean, you'll never know until you explore and have fun with it anyways. So this kind of helps. I can see, you know, some spots that are empty and open, and I want to go back to our sweet sorbet. And I'm going to use, out of the framed occasions, we're going to use this little sprig here. And this one is fun because you can use it at all different lengths of it. Like you can use the entire sprig itself. Let me show you. Or you can use edges of it. So like we're just gonna do like half of it, just ink up like half of it here. And then where that edge is, you can put that on the edge of the flower, and then only half of it sticks out behind the flower that way. Or you can ink up the whole thing and have that sticking out from a flower, and the whole thing's showing that way. So it's fun because you can make it all kinds of different lengths depending on what you want it to be. So usually I go around and kind of fill in the long ways first, and then I'll get all the ink off of it and do short little spots where I want it, instead of going back and forth, because otherwise you might totally forget that you were doing that you had the whole thing inked up, and then you'll get ink where you didn't want it, and then that is not fun. This is so fun. These colors are so bright, and it just makes me think of like decorated dishware kind of stuff, you know, like the, I don't know, it makes me think of like the Pioneer Woman on TV, the kind of stuff that she uses. Oops, we missed a little bit of that one. Oh, awesome. Sometimes you never know when you go back over it if it's gonna ruin it or not. I don't know how many more long ones I can fit in. Because see, like, this is a long spot where some could be, but there's this red on the side, so I don't want too much of it. Maybe I'll come from this one over here. That's some of the things where I struggle with the decisions. Like Ruth, I don't know that she even thinks when she's doing it. She just does it and it just comes natural to her. It's amazing. And I have to sit here and think it through, like, I don't know, is that where I want one? I think I'm going to start doing the smaller ones though, and with the sides, it's not as big of a deal because, you know, you go off the edge anyway, so it doesn't matter if you ink up the whole thing or not. So I do those first. And you'll just see spots that need, you know, just need something extra there. Alright, so then I ink the whole thing, or not ink, but stamp off the whole thing to where nothing else is coming off of the stamp. So if I at this point, roll it all around, get it off all the edges, anywhere there could be ink. And sometimes I'll just take a rag and clean it off, or even my chamois. And that way you don't have to worry about it inking up anything else. See there, it's nice and clean. So, excuse me. Man, I don't know why I've got a bug in my throat today. Okay, so now we're just going to ink up parts of it and just fill in little spots. So, I obviously have a hard time talking when I'm kind of concentrating. Whoops. And I don't know what to talk about. I'm like looking around the page and thinking about where I'm going to put stuff. This is where it would be nice to get the chat going, you know, and actually be able to look at it. So I can see, I guess, how Ruth might be able to chat a little bit. I always ask myself, how in the world does she keep stamping and look? But when you give it a try, I guess, you can kind of see how she's able to. As you can tell, she's one of my idols, I guess. I really enjoy watching her and taking notes from how she is, what she does. I am loving how this is turning out. I'm thinking, I don't know what I want to do. I just have a few little spots here and there I want to fill in. And I'm kind of thinking about using these little dots that they have in here. I just have to think what color would I want to use. I'm kind of thinking of even using the Orchid Oasis. See, that's nice to have chats too, because then you can put in votes. Alright, before we put away the Sweet Sorbet, what I decided to do for the center of these flowers, because I feel like they just need something. something to say they're a center. So I used one of these little leaf fill-ins. It doesn't matter which one. You can grab either one. I think I just grabbed the shorter one because I kind of make a little X with it. So in the middle of the flower, I'll do it one way and then turn it and do it another way, and it makes that little center there. So I'm going to go around and do that in all the flowers real quick with that sweet sorbet. And it gives it a nice dark center. It's so funny because I literally sat down to make this video right now, and I just got a notification on YouTube, and Ruth had just sat down to make her video today too, which she does masculine Mondays, so she's doing a masculine card for today. And I think she was making something with strips. I didn't get to see the whole thing, but I kind of said hello and watched for a second, but then I was like, I have to scoot out and make my video because my little boy is sleeping at the moment, so I have to make my video while he's sleeping, and then I can go back and watch hers later while he's awake. But I thought that was so funny. I was like, what a confirmation. She knew I was going to sit down and do a video for her today. She didn't really, actually. I'm just kidding because she didn't know, but I think it's funny. What a coincidence, right? Okay, I think I got all my flowers. Doesn't that help them so much? Actually, like, gives them a little bit more depth. Just something else, you know, to help push that center in and make the flower a little bit more 3D looking. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is go back. Gosh, I'm still trying to decide whether I want to use red or blue for those dots. So hard to decide. I think I'm gonna use the Orchid Oasis. I shouldn't say, I don't know if this is blue or purple. It's one of those that's right on the line. It's like next to something more purple, like our gorgeous grape. It looks very blue, you know. But next to something that's very blue, like our Pacific Point, whoops, it looks purple, you know. So it's really funny. It's one of those that's in between the blue and purple, you know, and you can decide for yourself whether it's blue or purple, because that could be an ongoing debate for a while. All right, I'm going to get out these 3 dots. It's just a little 3-dot stamp that comes in the framed occasions. And I'm just looking for a block, but I think all of them are dirty, so let me just clean this one really quick. All right. I love the fact that they started printing the stamp in the photopolymer stamps cases. You can totally see if one's missing that way. It makes it so nice to keep track of your stamps and know, you know, make sure they're all in there. Okay, so we're just going to kind of fill in, like I said, some of these little holes with just some dots. And we'll see what that does to it. I'm always scared whenever you add a new stamp and a color. You know, you never know if you're going to make it better or worse. But, like I said, it's just paper, so have fun with it. You never know till you try. I'm usually, with the dots, I'm a lot more partial to, like the splatter kind of dots than I am these bigger ones, but these bigger ones are fun too every now and then, and I just love all the different styles that you can make with things, you know, and the sky's the limit. It's just your imagination is all that keeps you tied down, you know. Otherwise, have fun with it. Let's see. Trying to kind of step back and take a look from above and see where else needs something. I know it's so different when you're sitting from the side view or actually, you know, have the view that you guys have straight above. I love the videos that I get to catch live and where people, you know, have the people in the chat vote or give their opinion about something. I like being able to put little input when people are making videos. It's fun. So I'm excited to get more comfortable with this to where I can start doing that too. Because I would love to hear from you guys and what you think of this. Alright, so I think I'm going to stop there and we're going to call it quits. I'm going to remove the back here so you can actually see what we have made. This is why I use the scrap paper and not just my actual grid paper, because I love the reveal at the end. You can totally just take that back piece away and it's so clean and pretty. And look what we made today. This is like a whole piece of designer series paper. I'm trying to see if I can find something. Well, here's a little piece with like dragonflies on it. And I actually have this stamp set too, so maybe we could do something fun like that sometime. But the fact is, here's a piece of paper that they made, you know, with dragonflies. And here's one that we made, and it doesn't look, you know, any different as far as the quality of it. You know, you get very good ink coverage to where it looks like it's printed, you know. You can have things that are more 3D looking, or you can have things that they're called distinctive stamps, where they have I'm trying to find one, sorry, like this, to where they go from you know, a dark to a light in the same stamp, or they have different texture in the stamp, you know, itself, and those kind of things are fun as well. Or you can have where it's, you know, just a silhouette, a full strength, all the same color right across, you know. And I love playing with stamps because look at all the different things that you can do with them. But the fact is, you can cut this up just like a piece of designer series paper. And I actually did a little piece of paper beforehand and played with this. This is the piece that I made ahead of time, just to see what colors I wanted to use. So I kind of played with this a little ahead of time, made a little sample paper. Like, I have a lot of pieces cut ahead of time. So I have these ones that are cut at 3 3/4 by 5. And so I just took one of them and played with it at first, like I said, to see what kind of colors I wanted to use. And I really liked this color combination, so I was like, I'm going to do a whole sheet of it just for Ruth. So today's whole video was all about Ruth, and I put her link down in the description below. So I'd love for you to go over and subscribe to her channel as well. And let's all just support each other on here. I love having a community of people who support each other, and I can't thank her enough for all the subscribers she brought to me. And I'm excited to share with you guys more fun stuff to come. I do want to show you another one sheet wonder that I made last night playing with the same kind of stuff. This is one that I used. I'm trying to find the here, let me swap this out so you don't have them messing with your eyes. I'm trying to find the ink that I used so I could tell you guys the colors. So for this one I did Rich Razzleberry with the Calypso Coral, And then for the leaves, I used the soft succulent. And then for the circles, I did evening evergreen. So those are the colors I used for this one. And normally, like with this one here, I did the red for the centers, you know, to make it like a more of a depth. And with this one, I didn't think the orange would show up very well with how dark that rich razzleberry is. So I actually used the Versamark and did gold embossing powder on there. And I think it's beautiful with the gold as the centers as well. I can't wait to make some cards with this one. And I think, you know, I have to make some templates still. Ruth has templates she's shown people how to make with vellum, to where you can just set it over the top and you can see like what it would look like cut into 4s, or you can see what it would look like cut into strips, or if you want to cut it down the center and do, you know, 8 pieces or 6 pieces or whatever. All kinds of different ways you could cut it up, and what's the best way to get, you know, the best look out of what you made. You might need a big piece, or you might just need a tiny little piece, depending on how, what's the word, like how much you put into it. If it's really, it has a lot of white space like this one does, you'd probably want to use a big piece just as a background, you know. But if it's really filled in, you can just use a tiny little piece and it'll give lots of eye-catching, you know, the eye-catching part of a card. So, here's another little one that I had done. I kind of, these are all still using the same 2 stamp sets. This one here is using like the exact same ones I did today. Just, you know, little bit different layout. It doesn't have as many of the flowers, and it was a little more spread apart. But this was one combination color that I did as well. And these are 2 different, like this one I had done with the Flirty Flamingo, and then I used, I believe it was the Sweet Sorbet over the top of it to make the darker. And then this one I used the Sweet Sorbet and then did the 2nd generation stamping to make it lighter. So I was trying to see, you know, this is all just playing around. Like I said, all this stuff is just grab a piece of paper and play with it. You know, what else can you really do to get to know your stamps and understand what works for what and how to use them. So I also used a few other stamps in these in different colors and stuff too, but it's fun to play around with them. And like I said, just get out your stamps and start playing and see what you come up with. And definitely go watch a lot of Ruth's videos. She makes some beautiful, beautiful things. And I wish it didn't take, you know, so long to stamp one of these. It would be fun to sit here and play all day, you know, making a bunch of cards with them. But this would be hours long of a video. So I just wanted to show you guys today how to stamp a sheet like she does and direct you over to her channel so you can go find another fun person to watch as well and return the favor as well to her. Hopefully I'll be making a video soon with some of these cards, and I'll show you guys how to cut them up and use this fun stuff as well. I hope you all have fun stamping. Have a great rest of the day, and we will see you next time. Happy stamping, everyone!